Hello, and I hope you're doing super well, having an amazing week. And welcome to this little video all about the oil paintings I'm working on at the moment. Also, happy 2024. And at the end of this video, I'm going to do like a little list of the best art supplies that I discovered in 2023. What my New Year's resolution is to upload more videos more frequently. Ha ha ha. Well, you never know, because miracles can happen. And maybe they are happening right now because this painting is wet and I haven't got any paint on myself. That's a complete lie. So the first painting I'd like to show you is this big than usual painting that I usually do. Well, it's only an 8x10, but usually I show my lots of little paintings. But this is a landscape all about a unicorn. So I'm going to move really close so you can see this unicorn. It's black there. That absolutely loves the sea, and so it goes to sea every day to sort of have a look for ships, and then as soon as it sees one, it basically hitches a ride on the ship, and then it sails along on the ship and goes to some distant lands where it tries to find treasures and maybe even paradise. So yeah, so this is the theme, and this colour scheme actually started completely differently. So I did a first few layers which were more earth toned, like a really orangey, burnt umber, burnt sienna sea. But when I started painting this, I thought actually I really feel like the mood of it lends itself to some dark skies, some dark blue skies, and then the blue came in, and then I just kind of got carried away really. But yeah, so this is the painting as it is. It isn't dry yet, so obviously it's very difficult to see. All these paintings, stating the obvious, will be available on in my Etsy store, and I will leave a link in my description. I am constantly putting my gloves on because I actually have the most disgusting chilblains on my right hand, and they are so gross. I just can't. They're only on 2 fingers, so I could technically just like do this so nobody could see, but then I would just look like a weirdo, even more so than usual. No, the second painting is of this cat, and this painting isn't wet. It's actually in the process of being varnished. Or rather, it's the next one to be varnished. And I just love painting cats by the sea on rocks with crashing waves. This cat was quite detailed because I really wanted to show the expression of it kind of looking up at the fish that were passing by. And yeah, I wanted to paint salmon because sometimes when I paint fish in sort of mystical fantasy scenes, I paint really bizarre fish that are kind of exotic and tropical. But I kind of thought it would be nice to have a cat that was in a slightly more conventional situation, but the colours were kind of unique, and that was what made it more fantasy based. But yeah, so this cat could literally be just like an ordinary cat by the sea, but I wanted there to be quite a lot of depth in the background. So next up we have a bunny rabbit in the dark night, you know, by the moonlight. And it's basically a bunny rabbit that loves to explore the seaside. Again, there's a bit of a seaside theme here. I love kind of painting seascapes, but also just sort of dreaming about the sea because it's just so wild and beautiful, and it has such an amazing, it gives such amazing atmosphere to paintings. But also it's in many ways, when it's too cold to go to the sea, it's nice to imagine it in art and just to paint it really. So yes, this bunny is hanging out by the sea, and it sees a light on in this house on the top of the cliff, and it goes to investigate, and then it sort of goes closer and closer, and then comes to this really luminous, brightly lit house. This was actually inspired by the fact that I really just love the way that houses light up at night, and I was in the car and almost going to the post office, which is like obviously the most exciting outing in existence. And I remember seeing just past the post offices over this, seeing past the post office this house that was completely dark, but then the windows were just lighting up the sky. And I just remember thinking, I really need to take a picture because that would just look so incredible in a painting. But I didn't have my camera with me. I had my phone, but actually that never really captures, you know, the amazing lighting. So I just sort of got the image in my head. And actually this, for me, is not quite the house that I wanted to paint. So I'm going to paint it again because the house itself was much darker. So I'm going to try the composition again. But I felt like in this particular piece, it needed to be brown. So finally we have a magical cat just basically leaping into the pink clouds above. And this is just all about adventure. Now, one can do anything if they are feeling adventurous. Even a cat can fly in the clouds if it wants to. I just love the idea of animals being sort of human-like, and I mean that's always really a theme in my art when I paint animals. And that's it for the paintings for now. I mean, I actually have a ton more, but many of them are drying, and some of them have been varnished and then they're behind this protective sheet because I never like to get dust on them. I don't like to get dust on them. You can see I can talk properly, speak properly. So now I want to just talk about some of my favourite oil painting supplies from 2023, because now it's 2024, you know, before everyone forgets about the past, because why not? I mean, I certainly wouldn't mind forgetting about 2023. My 2023 was okay, but I don't think it was as great as it could have been. So I'm looking forward to this year. I think this year is going to be absolutely amazing. And I hope this is not famous last words, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed for everyone out there, all of my incredible subscribers, everyone who's watching. I hope you have an amazing year ahead. I think it's going to be really, really great. I say that hopefully. First painting supply win of 2023 is this. This is Alizarin Crimson by Old Holland. Probably thinking, Alizarin Crimson, that's fugitive. Why are you showing a fugitive colour on your channel and saying it's the greatest colour ever? Well, it's an amazing discovery I found, because I ordered this from Jackson's Art Supplies, amazing famous art store shop in England, and I got it and I actually misread what it said on the label. So I don't know if you can see, it's actually too light. Camera, please focus. If you can see, it says Alizarin Crimson. Yeah, so I misread it. I thought it said Alizarin Crimson Permanent, because there are several different versions of Alizarin Crimson in every brand, most brands rather. Usually they'll do the fugitive Alizarin Crimson, and what I mean by that is it's just almost zero light fastness, because Alizarin Crimson is one of the most beautiful colours ever, in my opinion. It's so useful, it's brilliant in mixes, it's a historical colour, everybody loves it. I mean, you know, people just adore this colour, which is why so many artists use it, despite the fact that it has such a poor light fastness. Over the years, it's known to just fade to nothingness, and yet people still use it because they just love the colour, and it is an incredible colour. So I got this and I thought it was a different pigment to the PR83, which is the one that is known to be fugitive. But anyway, I looked at it and I thought, no, this doesn't say permanent on it. It just says Alizarin Crimson Extra, Alizarin Crimson Lake Deep Extra, and a lot of stuff in Dutch. And then it has PR83 on the side. So I thought, gosh, I've just wasted my money. And not only that, but I'd already opened it and gone like on my palette, and I thought, great, they're not going to accept this now if I just opened it and used it. I can't just say, hang on, give me my money back. At least I could have, but you know, it wouldn't have got very far. And so I emailed them and I was like, how bad is this light fastness rating? They actually sent me a message which really surprised me, and they said that this particular Alizarin Crimson made by Old Holland is actually a synthetic version of Alizarin Crimson. It's like their synthetic pigment, which actually has a really high light fast rating. So I was like, wow, why don't they make a bigger thing of that? Because I didn't know that many brands actually had a properly light fast Alizarin Crimson. I thought you always had to seek alternatives to the pigment PR83. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of like a, I mean, I suppose it's a bit of a nerdy fact, but it was like, for me, I was like, wow. I mean, that like made my day. Maybe it made my entire life, because I'm really that sad. Okay, so that was amazing. So if you are a lover of Alizarin Crimson, and this is definitely, in my opinion, a proper Alizarin Crimson. I mean, it looks like Alizarin Crimson, it handles like Alizarin Crimson. It's not one of those rubbish imitation ones yet, which looks more like quinacridone magenta. You know, I like, it never usually looks like, it never looks like what I want, which is Alizarin Crimson, the real one. So yeah, my next recommendation is the Sennelier test pack. So I don't actually have the whole test pack here to show you, and I'll tell you why, but I do have some of the colours. So the test pack is basically their trial version. Pretty self-explanatory. When you want to try an oil paint brand, very many of the oil paint brands use, they sell a small pack of a few colours, and they usually be smaller, which is great in many ways, because even though you're getting a less amount, if you're somebody who does plein air painting, so you go outside and you paint, these types of colours are so useful because you can just take them with you and then, you know, paint with them. And they usually, although they're a smaller size, they're usually substantial enough. And I've had this for ages. These are 21 millilitres each. So it comes in a tin, which I don't have either, so I'll explain that, and 5 colours. So you've got black, white, ultramarine blue, alizarin crimson, and there's a yellow as well. And it comes in this really lovely tin. And these have lasted me ages. I mean, I've used loads. I mean, actually the black's running out now, but like the other two have lasted me ages. Now, I don't know if this alizarin crimson is permanent, by the way, so you will need to email them because I can't guarantee that one. But I just wanted to test out the paint anyway, so it wasn't as though I was like, you know, it wasn't like the be-all, end-all and end-all. Is that right? In terms of Sennelier, I absolutely adore their oil paints. The colours are really strong. They're really, really vibrant. For an artist grade paint, I feel like they border on luxury. I feel like they're one of those that sit kind of in the between artists and luxury. Maybe they're even towards luxury, but they're priced more like an artist grade. But they're just one of my favourite paints now, and I bought more since having the test pack. But just as a small thing, they're really cool to try. What I really like about them as well was that the tin they came in was amazing because it was really smart looking, and if you were travelling, you could just chuck the paints in there and then take the tin with you, which is what I did do because I went on a plein air paint out and oh dear, basically I used the tin as my palette, so I was like mixing my colours inside the tin, which was so useful. The only thing was it started raining and all my paints and my medium actually ran, and it was a very tragic ending, and also I couldn't get the paint off afterwards, but that's not anyone's fault apart from mine. So yeah, I should have really done something about that on the day, not leave it overnight. But anyway, let's pretend I never said any of that. So my final recommendation is the Zest It Paint Dilutant and Brush Cleaner. Ooh. The thing is, I haven't actually used it as a paint dilutant, like for an underpainting or anything. I think I did test it once, but I didn't use it properly. So the jury's out on that because I haven't really tested it as an underpainting medium. But I dropped paint on the floor. Another just standard disaster that usually happens to me. And I was really panicking because I thought, what am I going to do? How am I going to get this out? And it was a lot of like brown paint, and that always looks really disgusting on floors because people are like, what's that brown stain? You know, like looks dodgy. Quite a lot. So I was like scrubbing away. And then I had this on the side and I was like, maybe I should just try this. And it totally got out a lot of the stain. In fact, almost all of it, which was brilliant. And then the next day I tried it again and it got out the rest of the stain. So it is incredible. I think it's a very, very strong cleaner, which I think is really, really good because quite often with, you know, the sort of the plant-based solvents, one does worry that they're not as effective, but I do actually think this is probably effective. I clean my brushes using this a ton, and as I say, it really gets rid of the paint. Like it properly bites through the paint. So if you're looking for a brush cleaner that has no toxins and is, you know, safe to use, I mean, I would still maybe keep the windows open if you're using a lot, but otherwise I would say it's pretty safe. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry it was a bit of a mad rush, but hopefully I will stop filming earlier. Of course, so that's my New Year's resolution, I think, as well as making 1,000 more videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you are new, and I will see you soon. Take care, guys.